listening to A Scary State, and this week we're talking about North Carolina. So, Lauren,
Yes, Kenzie.
let's get going.
When this episode comes out, I'll be in North Carolina.
OMG.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
I know.
We don't have anything to talk about because we're recording this right after we recorded our last one, so a week hasn't gone by and nothing new has happened.
I know. We don't have anything to update on.
Right, because we did it all in Delaware, which for them is a week ago, but for us was 2 seconds.
I know.
Time. So weird.
Still in the same positions. Roy's still sleeping away in his bed.
Did I mention Mom is in town?
Yeah.
I know I mentioned it to you.
I think maybe a couple weeks ago, because she's been here for a little bit.
It's been nice.
Is she staying for a little bit longer?
Yeah, the whole month of August.
Oh, fun.
It's interesting because when I tell people that, like, they're very shocked that she'd be staying with me for a whole month. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't know me and my mom.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I don't think it's weird at all, obviously.
yeah. So, plus, I'm like, a week or two.
Wait, how long has she already been here?
She came the last week in July, but she was staying with my aunt.
Ah.
And then she came over.
So you still have like a good 20 more days with her.
Yeah.
How fun.
And I was thinking about it too. I was like, especially the first week she was here, I was like, I wanted to spend all my time with her.
Well, yeah.
And I was like, this is why whenever I leave or she leaves, I was like, we don't see each other for a whole year.
Yeah.
If not more, depending on when we see each other.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yes, we talk on the phone every day, but that's different.
That's so different.
So I feel like we need a month in order to make up for that time.
That makes sense.
So plus, no better way to get waited on hand and fucking foot.
I know, because you become a kid again when you're with your parents.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling well, and it was so nice to have my mom there. Because every time I'm not feeling well, I'm just like, why can't you be here?
Sweet child, what can I make for you?
She made me chicken noodle soup.
Oh. And chicken noodle soup has healing properties when your parents make it.
Well, she said that was the Jewish penicillin, and guess what? The next day, felt better.
Huh. Maybe I need to do that for my stuffy nose. I'm not Jewish, but...
I have actually... Yeah, Jewish adjacent.
Yeah.
It's fine. I have extra cans of chicken noodle soup if you need it that I didn't eat.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because this stuffy nose is really annoying.
Yeah.
The congestion.
Upset stomach. Diarrhea.
Upset. No.
Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion. I don't have any of those things.
Upset stomach. Diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
Yeah.
My friend at work, every now and then she'll message me. She goes, we haven't done the Pepto-Bismol in a while. And so what we do is we'll message her in person. So I'll do the first line and then she'll go, and diarrhea to whoever it is. So we'll just randomly pick a person and just message them this. We do it maybe once a month.
That's so weird.
It's so great because the person will message you back so confused and then they'll get the other part and they're like, oh.
Oh.
It's good times.
So you do the first part.
Uh-huh.
I thought you were saying something random and they were just finishing up with diarrhea.
No, I would do the first part of the little jingle.
Yeah.
And then she would message the next part of the little jingle.
Yeah.
So the person would have enough confusion between the two parts of the jingle.
Sure.
Until they get the second part and realize what's going on.
There you go.
And I'll just get a random message from her. And she'll just, we won't talk for a little bit. The next thing is, we haven't done Pepto-Bismol in a while.
We love team bonding.
We really do. It's nothing better.
Yeah. When this goes out, I'll be back at work.
Ew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, me too. I did not do well with having to get up early.
Your summer felt so short.
Yeah.
Mom and I were talking about that. She was like, when does Mackenzie go back? And I was like, oh, it's sometime soon. And she was like,
well, Fairfax is going back next week.
Yeah. She was like,
coming up week.
She's like, that flew. And I was like, I know.
Well, and it was exactly 2 months.
It used to feel longer.
Because it was 2 months and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But we got out June 18th.
Ugh.
I go back. My first day for pre-service week is August 18th.
Oh, yeah.
So exactly 2 months.
Wow.
And I think we get out the same time next year, the same date. And I was talking to a friend who works in Fairfax, and they get out the day before we do. And they go back a week before we do.
Ew.
That sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah.
I have a friend who went back last week.
What?
I have a friend who went back last week.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of people that went back.
Yeah.
Some go back beginning of August.
Ugh.
So, but, everyone was like, oh, that sucks. You guys are still in school. And I was like, just wait till August when all you bitches are going back and I get an extra week. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. Huh.
So it's all about perspective.
Put that in your juice box and suck it.
Okay.
That was a good one, I know.
That was intense.
I bought myself juice boxes at the store today.
Oh.
Because sometimes I just wanted juice. Like, sometimes you're just craving juice, but I don't crave it enough to buy a big thing of juice. So I, will drink, 2 little things of it, and then the rest goes to waste. So if I get juice boxes,
It's so much different.
it lasts for, a year,
Yeah.
and I
A
can just
year? What? That doesn't seem right.
When do these ones expire? I feel like they expire in sometime in 26.
When
Maybe
did you get
February.
them?
When did I get them?
Yeah.
Today?
It's gonna take you a whole year to finish
No,
them?
it won't, but I'm saying they don't expire for a year. So if it does take me a year,
I see what you're saying.
yes,
Okay.
yes. It won't take me a year.
It's like, 1, how many juice boxes did you buy?
Just a pack of 12.
And then the follow-up is like, how are you gonna spread it out over the course of a year?
Yeah, no.
One
One a month.
One a month?
This is my monthly juice box.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy. Absolutely insane.
No, but so now I can have my little sips of juice when I want it.
Yay.
Yay.
Love that for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Should we go into North Carolina?
Might as well.
Okay. Imagine this. It's November 10th, 1898, and Wilmington is a thriving majority black city on the North Carolina coast. And what's funny is we just talked about Wilmington in Delaware as well.
Yeah. Kinda
Yeah.
confusing.
The local government is a rare example of a successful biracial democracy during Reconstruction's aftermath. But white supremacists, angered by the idea of shared power, launch a coordinated coup. They burned down the black owned Daily Record newspaper, terrorized residents, and opened fire in the streets, killing dozens, perhaps hundreds. Thousands of black citizens flee, never to return. The coup leaders install themselves in power and face no consequences. To this day, Wilmington's massacre remains a haunting example of how democracy can be violently overturned.
Yeah, man.
And wow, I am so sorry for how stuffy I sound.
Yeah,
It
you
has
sound stuffier
Yeah, I
this
do.
time than last time.
Oh, God. But yeah, I don't know. That doesn't
I
surprise
can
me.
do this. It sounds stuffy with you.
Thanks. I think people would really enjoy that. But yeah, this massacre, it doesn't surprise me, which is so sad to say.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. There you go. So, I'm sure everyone's heard about this,
Oh, yeah.
especially if you live in America. In 1587, over 100 settlers, including men, women, and children, arrived on Roanoke Island, led by Governor John White. White returned to England for supplies, but due to war with Spain, he couldn't return for 3 years. When he finally made it back, the colony was gone. Houses were dismantled, belongings scattered, and the word Croatoan was carved into a wooden post. No bodies, no signs of a struggle, just silence. Historians have theories. Maybe they assimilated with local tribes, starved, or were killed by hostile forces. But nothing has ever been proven. The mystery of the lost colony still lingers over the Outer Banks, whispered about like a centuries-old ghost story.
I got this question right at trivia one night.
Nice.
People wanted to put Virginia, and I said, I promise you it's North Carolina.
Because Roanoke, Virginia, not by the beach.
Right. And guess what? Because we listened to me, we got it right. Thank you,
it's
thank you.
Roanoke Island.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Confused.
Yeah.
When I first heard of Roanoke, Virginia, I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
So I get it. But
And then I was watching Supernatural last night,
Of course.
obviously. And it was an episode where a whole town disappears pretty much.
Oh.
And they were thinking that Croatoan was like, because they talked about this legend, and they were like, what if it was the name of a demon? Ooh. So it wasn't a place they went. It was like what happened to them.
Whenever I think of that, I think of like, I don't know what I think of. Like the Kraken.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's not a giant octopus, but
It could be.
on an island?
I don't know. It's
They-
an island.
They live in the deep depths of the ocean.
Yeah.
Well, not octopuses, but squid.
Yeah.
Like
Way deep.
way deep.
Ooh, so creepy. Okay. Question.
Yes.
Knowing you could return unharmed,
Okay.
would you rather explore space or the ocean?
Space.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
If all my fears go away, like heights and all that, flying.
Well, you know that you'd come back. Like, you know you'd be 100% safe. Like, you'd 100% come back. You'd 100% be fine. There would be no, like, troubles.
Yeah, space. Because like I feel like the ocean, when I see it on TV and stuff, if I go in it, it's not gonna be much different. Versus I feel like the things you see in space, being there and seeing the millions and millions of stars outside of our atmosphere,
Okay. Actually, you make a very good point. That would be really cool.
like that'd be so cool. Like,
That
can
would
you
be.
still see the stars the same way we can see the stars at night? I don't know.
I don't know. Probably. Probably even better.
But like there's that picture from the moon of Earth and it's just Earth. It's everything else is black.
Yeah. I don't know how any of it works.
Neither do I. That's why I want to go.
Okay, valid.
Yeah, because that's like my go-to. I
Okay.
like space. I like the ocean, but I like space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so far, space doesn't have creatures
That we know of.
that we no. That's why I said so far.
Yeah, yeah. Western North Carolina was once home to thousands of Cherokee people, many of whom had deep roots in the Smoky Mountains. But in the 1830s, the U.S. government passed the Indian Removal Act, forcing the Cherokee from their homeland. Soldiers rounded up families, herding them into stockades before a brutal march west. Disease, starvation, and bitter cold claimed countless lives along the way. The removal split the tribe, some fled deep into the mountains, forming what is now the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. The land they lost was taken for white settlement, and their suffering became one of the most shameful chapters in American history.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna just leave it in and say, take a shot as long as you're not driving for every time Lauren blows her nose.
Literally, no, I don't think people want to hear that at all. They'd be drunk by the end of the episode, though.
Okay. On a cold January night in 1961, a B-52 bomber carrying 4-megaton hydrogen bombs broke apart in midair over Goldsboro after a mechanical failure. Hydrogen bombs. That's like worse than an atomic bomb.
Is it?
I think so.
Ugh.
One bomb's parachute deployed, but the other plummeted into a muddy field, its safety switch set to armed.
Well, it doesn't seem very safe.
No. Experts later revealed that only one low-voltage switch prevented a nuclear explosion that could have killed millions along the East Coast.
Oh my God.
Most of the second bomb remains buried to this day because removing it would risk setting off residual explosives.
Oh my God.
The idea that part of a doomsday weapon still lies beneath North Carolina soil is enough to keep residents uneasy.
Well, now I'm going to be uneasy at the beach.
Yeah, most of the people in the plane were okay. Only one guy died, but that's because he landed funny.
I don't like it.
No, and it's funny to me because I'm like, don't people go underground for their bunkers, doomsday stuff?
Yeah.
What do you do if the doom is underground?
I feel like it would be harder to travel underground, though. But if you're within range of it.
But I mean, if it explodes
Yeah.
underground, that's going to make a big ass hole.
Well, yeah.
So you'd have to be far away.
Right.
And we're very close. We would die.
Yeah, we would.
Or get radiation poisoning and then die.
Yeah. Either way, it wouldn't be pleasant.
Oh, we'd be screwed.
I remember once in high school, we were talking in history class. I don't know why we were talking about this. But yeah, he told us once, he was like, oh yeah, if anyone were to drop a bomb on Washington, D.C., all of us would go flying against the wall.
We'd be evaporated.
And I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the fear.
I love living so close to our nation's
Oh,
capital.
so great. And also near like all of the data centers.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really safe feeling in this day and age.
Well, at least this was 1961. I think we've increased our not security, mechanicalness.
Hopefully. But if they still can't remove it.
Well, I just mean like no more bombs are going to fall. There's got to be a way that they can like, I don't know, do something. You don't know. Okay.
I don't know. On a summer day in Shelby in 1966, 11-year-old Brenda Sue Brown was found brutally beaten and left for dead near a cemetery. The small town was horrified, but no one was ever charged. For decades, the case was cold until investigators connected it to Luther Wade Weisendaut, a suspected serial killer who had already died in prison. His confession came too late for real justice, leaving the Brown family with answers but no closure. Even now, whispers in Shelby say the truth may be more complicated than the official story. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of scary.
Yeah. In the 1920s, mill workers in Gastonia faced long hours, meager pay, and dangerous conditions. When they organized to demand better treatment, the mill owners fought back, literally.
Oh.
Violence erupted, and a night of gunfire left Union leader Ella Mae Wiggins dead, shot by men connected to the anti-union movement. Wiggins, a mother of 9, had become a voice for workers' rights, and her murder sent a chilling message to others who dared to speak out. The strike ultimately failed, and mill conditions didn't improve for years, but her legacy lived on in the labor songs and stories.
Oh.
So it momenticized. I know that's not a word.
Monumentized.
It caused momentum for the labor movement in the South.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's something.
Yeah.
The USS Huron, a U.S. naval ship, set sail for Hampton Roads bound for Havana but never made it. Navigational errors drove her straight into the Outer Banks' infamous Graveyard of the Atlantic. I think I talked about that in one of our episodes.
Probably.
Yeah. In the frigid early morning hours, waves battered the ship and the crew struggled to survive. 98 men drowned, their bodies washing ashore in the days that followed. The tragedy shocked the public and exposed flaws in the nation's coastal rescue system, leading to an expansion of life saving stations. Still, the Huron's wreck remains on the ocean floor, a silent monument to human error and nature's fury.
Rawr.
I wonder if there's a ghost ship. We know how much I love those.
Yeah. I mean, it did say graveyard.
Yeah.
Velma Barfield seemed like a sweet, church-going grandmother, but in the late 1970s, she began poisoning people around her with arsenic. First her own family members, then her romantic partners. Her motives ranged from financial gain to covering up theft. Convicted of killing her boyfriend, she confessed to multiple murders before her execution in 1984, becoming the first woman in the U.S. to die by lethal injection.
Oh.
To this day, her case blurs the line between the harmless image of a grandmother and the cold calculation of a serial killer.
Creepy.
Ease.
Opened in 1880 as the Asylum for the Colored Insane. Oh my God. Cherry Hospital in Goldsboro was part of North Carolina's segregated mental health system. Patients, often committed for reasons that had nothing to do with mental illness, lived in overcrowded, underfunded conditions. Hundreds died from disease, malnutrition, or neglect, their bodies buried in unmarked graves on hospital ground. Today, efforts are underway to document and honor those forgotten lives, but the past still hangs over the site like a shadow.
I just read that there was a patient that was kept there for like 7 decades
Oh my
because he would
God.
make grunting sounds and do hand movements. Obviously, they figured out later he was deaf.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but he was put there in 1920 and it wasn't realized and he wasn't released or anything like that until the 1990s.
That is so terrifying and sad.
Yeah. So a lot of the people buried are just IDs, like ID numbers,
Oh
like
my
not actual
gosh.
people, like people's names.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I was like, maybe this could be another story.
Yeah.
It sounds like some stuff happened here. And same with the grandmother serial killer.
Yeah. Well,
Never heard
maybe
of
we
her.
have our answers for next North Carolina.
You
See,
know?
North Carolina being such a big state,
Exactly.
there are things we can cover.
We have options.
If you have a small state or a very unpopulated state, we don't love you any less. It just makes
It's
our
just,
jobs
yeah,
very, very hard.
because there's less shit going on. And so there's less shit to talk about.
Like Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming. And
Beautiful
the
state.
Dakotas.
And the Dakotas. Beautiful, beautiful. But who are you guys difficult to find stuff about?
Yeah. It's pretty much going to get to a point where, like, we're going to run out of all the haunted things.
And it's going to be like, this person passed through Wyoming.
Right? This person was born in Wyoming and never went back. But I'm using it for my Wyoming story.
But you guys birthed the serial killers, so here we are.
Here we are.
So if you live in one of these states or in any state, send us messages or things that you want us to cover in your states.
Yeah,
Because you might know something that just isn't like a quick Google search.
that's true.
And we
Because
would
we
love
try to
that.
find the unknown ones, but it's hard to find the unknown on Google.
Right.
It's, yeah.
So yeah, let us know.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, North Carolina.
There you go.
All right, Mackenzie, what do you have for us?
So I'm excited about this one because it's been on my list of episode ideas for a while.
Oh, yay.
Like, I was able to check this one off.
Oh, don't you love when that happens?
I do. This is one of those like obvious cases where it'll be really easy to determine who the perpetrator is. However, there is a little plot twist that a lot of people didn't see coming.
Okay, I love a plot twist.
Yeah. At 6:08 a.m. on February 1st, 1988, in Durham, North Carolina, 14-year-old Jason Stager, I don't know if it's Stager or Stagger. Stager. I feel like that's Stager.
It could be. I feel like either way works.
14-year-old Jason Stager called 911. He told the operator that his father had been shot and that his mother had asked him to call for an ambulance. The Lebanon Fire Department and 3 deputies from the Durham County Sheriff's Department were dispatched to the Stager residence. First responders Douglas Griffin entered the Stager's main bedroom and found Russ Stager lying on his side with a bullet wound to the back of his head. In the process of reading the vitals, they turned Russ's head and it caused the pillow to shift and to expose the .25 caliber Beretta pistol, and further underneath the pillow lay a spent shell casing. So the way that they had moved
So there was
him,
a gun under his head?
yeah, under the pillow.
Oh.
So like they were like moving him to like get the vitals and make it easier for him to breathe.
Oh, so he's still alive too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when they did that, there's now a pillow under the a gun under the pillow,
Ooh, okay.
and apparently a spent shell casing.
Huh.
When Wingate asked Barbara Stager, Russ's wife, what happened, she said that the gun had discharged as she was pulling it out from under the pillow. She said that she had heard her son get up and she had been trying to remove the gun in case her husband awoke and thought someone was in the house.
Why
Th-
was it under the pillow in the first place? Okay.
Then Barbara told Wingate that they kept a gun because they had heard noises at night and were concerned about burglars.
Okay.
By 6:15 a.m., Deputy Sheriff Clark Green and Deputy Sheriff Paul Hornbuckle arrived at the scene. They secured the area and went to interview Barbara to find out what happened to her husband. Before they began questioning her, they could hear Barbara repeating, quote, "I kept telling him about those damn guns." The officers asked her some general questions and then asked her about the gun. Barbara said that her husband was, quote, "in a stage about guns and occasionally slept with a pistol."
That's weird.
She motioned to her son, Jason, to corroborate her story.
Corroborate.
Close enough. Telling him to tell the officers, quote, "about him having these stages about guns. He carries guns in the cars, leaves them under the pillow. He is scared about somebody coming into the house." Jason did confirm that Russ occasionally slept with a gun under his pillow.
If Joe one day was like, I'm going to start sleeping with a gun under my pillow, I'd say, no, you will not. Because that is way too terrifying.
Correct. And he could get shot in the back of the head.
Right.
When another member of the Lebanon first responders, Michael Wilson, arrived at the scene, Barbara was standing in the bedroom to the left of the bed. She had become such a distraction to the medical staff that they asked Deputy Hornbuckle to remove her from the room.
Oh my gosh.
According to later statements, Barbara was heard repeating statements such as, quote, "I'm scared of these things. My God, I wish we didn't have them. I wish he wouldn't have these things under there. I'm scared of guns. Guns are not safe. You know, there are kids in the house." Wilson described the repetitious nature of these statements like a chant.
Yeah.
Wilson was also a member of the same church as Barbara and Russell Stager and Russell's parents. After Russell was treated at the Stager residence and transported to Duke Medical Center, Wilson told Barbara that he would be happy to contact her husband's parents or their pastor and drive them to the hospital. Barbara responded that she did not want Russell's father called and told Wilson not to call anyone. Wilson testified that Barbara's response startled him.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, Barbara Terry was born in Durham, North Carolina on October 30th, 1948, the daughter of a secretary and longtime Duke Power Company employee. She had to wear thick glasses from an early childhood and was described as shy and sexually repressed, according
Oh.
to the book Before He Wakes by newspaper reporter Jerry Bledsoe. Allison Russell Stager III, Russ or Russell is what he goes by, met Barbara Terry in the fall of 1978 and they began dating. By March 17th, 1979, they were married.
Ooh, so you said November to March?
I said fall, but yeah.
Wow.
Russell adopted Barbara's sons, Brian and Jason, who were 6 and 11, from a previous marriage. The newlyweds were both devout Baptist and involved in their local church activities. Barbara and Russ were described as, quote, "frequent and enthusiastic shoppers." They kept up with clothing trends and supposedly wore matching Rolex watches.
Wow.
Friends of the couple would joke that instead of getting an oil change, the Stagers would get a new car.
I would love that kind of life.
That's a little excessive, even if you do have that kind of money.
It was like London Tipton from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She's like, oh, the gas is empty. I guess I need a new car.
Yeah, right. Barbara worked as a secretary at Duke University and an ad salesperson for a radio station. She was in charge of the couple's finances. Russ was a beloved coach and teacher at Durham High School.
So how in the world do they have this much money? Okay.
Except for the fact that friends couldn't figure out where the couple's seemingly limitless supply of disposable income came from, everything seemed great on the surface.
Well, it's like those people who are like house hunters. It's like, I own a butterfly collection and my husband collects rocks and we have a budget of $4 million.
Yeah, right. Neighbors described Barbara Stager as, quote, "perfect homemaker, loving mother of two, valued employee, and staunch Baptist." At some point, however, Russ discovered that he and Barbara were deeply in debt. Barbara, it turned out, had been running a mini Ponzi scheme where she borrowed money from a bank and then pay it off with a loan from a different bank.
Oh.
Russ found out that she'd been forging his name on financial paperwork. For whatever reason, Russ forgave Barbara for watching their finances, but he insisted on taking control of the couple's bill paying.
Valid. Makes sense.
Right. To get back on their feet money-wise, the Stagers quit their country club and moved to a smaller house. It was shortly after they came to this agreement that Russ was shot. Russ died a couple hours after getting to the hospital.
Aw.
Dr. Thomas Clark was a forensic pathologist with the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner of North Carolina and conducted the autopsy on Russell Stager. Russell had a gunshot wound to the back of his head, and Dr. Clark determined that the bullet was consistent with firing from a .25 caliber pistol. The point of entry was about level with the ears, just to the right of the midline of the back of the head. So, towards, in the middle between your ears,
Yeah.
and I think kind of towards the right.
Okay.
Dr. Clark testified that there was no powder stippling in or around the wound. Because of this information, Dr. Clark concluded that the gunshot that killed Russell had been fired from a distance of more than 2 feet from the victim. Homicide detective R.D. Buchanan met Barbara at her parents' home after Russell was declared dead. Barbara told Buchanan that she was in bed that morning when the alarm clock went off in her son's room. She then reached over to her husband and felt an object underneath the pillow. As Barbara stuck her hand under the pillow and pulled the pistol out, she attempted to lift it and raise herself in the bed. At this point, the pistol discharged. Barbara stated that she had told her husband in the past not to place guns under the pillow, and that on this particular morning, she did not know that the gun was there.
Uh-huh.
On
I mean, why would that also be your first place? Like, if I look over to my husband, my first thing is not, let me reach under his pillow.
Right. On February 5th, 1988, Buchanan and Barbara returned to the Stager home so Barbara could demonstrate what happened the morning of February 1st. This reenactment was recorded.
Oh.
After the reenactment was completed, Barbara told Buchanan that she kept asking herself why Russell would have kept a gun that was ready to fire under his pillow. In addition, Barbara stated that she did not know anything about guns and that she did not like guns. Barbara also inquired as to how the insurance company would know that the shooting was accidental.
Ma'am.
On February 15th, Barbara called the detective and wanted to know about the pending listing on the death certificate. She wanted to know again if the case was closed out as accidental. She also told him that the death certificate showed that the autopsy was complete.
Can I just make a guess? Did she also take out a life insurance policy like a month before?
No.
Oh, okay.
He just already had one.
But they always seem to like raise it or open like an additional one.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Doris Stager, Russell's mother, later testified that on February 2nd, when they were at the funeral home making arrangements for Russell, they heard her asking the funeral director about getting money from Social Security on her 2 sons. The way it sounded was, is she pulling out that money that would be for her sons to pay for it?
Okay.
I was hard to understand, but I felt like it should be included.
Okay, one sec. Oh my god. It's so gross. This is way more runny than my nose has ever done before.
If you get me sick, I swear to God. Just what you say all the time. If you get me sick, I swear to God.
Oh, and I said it to Joe too. When he came back from vacation, right when he got in the car, I ran to take a COVID test. And then the next day I made him take the test. And we had to wear masks when he first got in the car before we knew the results. And he goes, Lauren, really? And I said, if you get me sick, I will kill you.
There you go. On the 5th, Barbara called Doris and told her about going to the Veterans Administration to figure out when she could get the money from Russ's insurance. Russ had been in the Army Reserves and the National Guard. On the 9th, Barbara had told Doris that she had given all of Russ's clothes to 2 churches. He was shot on the 1st.
Jeez.
On the 15th, I'm assuming that after the reenactment, Barbara went to Doris's house and told her again that it was an accident and that she wanted forgiveness. She also told Doris that she was not going to be able to make her monthly house payment without using her entire salary.
So does she, I guess, rent from the parents?
Uh-uh.
Oh, so she just wants help with the money.
Yeah.
I see.
Barbara also indicated that after she got insurance payments from the National Guard and the school where Russell worked, she would be able to make the house payment. On April 5th, Buchanan went back to speak to Barbara about the pistol that was used in the shooting. Barbara told him and Agent Steve Myers of the State Bureau of Investigation that she and Russell had purchased the pistol about 2 years ago. Initially, it had been bought for Barbara's protection. But she told investigators that she did not know how to use the pistol and Russell had moved it to a location that she did not know. Barbara said that her husband had done a lot of shooting and had been on the National Guard pistol team.
Oh.
She stated that she had accompanied her husband to an underground shooting range on one occasion and that she shot approximately 2 clips in the pistol he had that day.
How many is 2 clips? Is that like what you reload?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
She also stated that she never shot the .25 caliber pistol that killed her husband. Buchanan later testified that Barbara said she was unable to form an opinion as to whether Russ was careless with guns or not because she knew so little about them.
Even I know little about guns and I can determine what's careless and what isn't.
She did say that Russell told her not to point a gun at anyone unless she was going to use it, which she found funny since she did not know how to use a gun. In addition, Barbara told officers that her husband had stated that he would confront and shoot anyone who broke in their house. Barbara had found this statement odd because her husband was such a heavy sleeper who probably would not awaken if someone broke into the house. But you were worried he was going to hear an alarm in another room?
Right.
She also indicated that her husband occasionally slept with different weapons under his pillow. Barbara told Buchanan that she had never purchased a .25 caliber pistol before. However, she also told Buchanan that her first husband had died from a pistol wound after she had purchased the pistol that killed him.
Suspicious.
Larry Ford, and Barbara Terry met at Appalachian State University in 1966. Barbara got pregnant, and they were married by 1967.
Ooh.
Henry Ford, Larry's father, told the press, quote, he loved her. They married under those circumstances, but they were compatible. He loved her until the day he died.
Aw.
At 12:40 a.m. on March 22nd, 1978, Barbara called the police, telling them her husband had been shot. She told police that they were watching TV, and he told her he was going to go upstairs to go to bed. Larry Ford was a black belt in karate and had hurt himself during a lesson when he had given earlier in the evening and was having trouble sleeping. Barbara said she told him that she would go downstairs to sleep on the couch. I don't know why that would have made a difference, but there you go. After she had fallen asleep downstairs, she was awakened by a noise like something had fallen. She got up, went upstairs to the bedroom, and found her husband lying in bed with blood on his chest, gasping for breath. Investigators determined that the gun went off accidentally because Larry was unfamiliar with guns.
Uh-huh.
The county medical examiner agreed with the cause of death, and no autopsy was performed.
So then why did they have one in the house? Okay.
There's holes. I know. That's the point.
Okay.
2 weeks after Larry Ford was buried, the results of the powder residue test returned to the state lab. The conclusion was that Larry Ford did not fire the gun.
Well, yeah, if you don't have any powder or like residue on your hands, you didn't do it.
His body was exhumed on May 23rd, 1978 for an autopsy, but it was too late. Mold had already grown on his thighs and the backs of his forearms. No gunpowder remained.
Mold?
Yeah.
Ugh.
No gunpowder remained near the wound or in tissues that could be analyzed.
I didn't know that's a thing that happened. It makes sense, but I hate it.
The state medical examiner's office said it appeared that the shot had been fired from close range, but how close, they couldn't say. I believe they later determined that Larry had dropped the gun and that when it hit the floor, it fired and killed him.
Okay.
Barbara got $91,000 from her husband's life insurance policy and moved back to Durham. There she met her neighbor, Russ Stager. So if you notice, I don't know if you connected that dot.
Let's see.
So her husband, Larry, was killed in March 1978.
Okay.
And she met Russ in the fall of 1978.
Ma'am, and your husband or your old husband didn't know about guns, but then you had a gun, but now you don't know about guns.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like he wanted her to get the gun for protection.
Right.
But he doesn't know about guns.
Right. And she doesn't either, though.
Right.
Yeah.
She hates them.
Right.
So yeah, then she met a neighbor, Russ Stager, and they were married less than a year later.
Suspicious.
4 days after Barbara's second husband was killed, she paid a $40 fee at the Durham courthouse to qualify as the executor of his will. He left her their $120,000 home, furniture, 3 cars, and a bank account. She was the sole heir to an estimated $200,000 life insurance policy.
Wow.
Oh, she didn't take out a life insurance policy. She did forge his signature on a will.
Ah, there we go. I knew there had to be something suspicious there.
Yeah. Investigators learned that Barbara had been having an affair at the time of Russ's death.
Of course.
And that she had had affairs during her first marriage. Between October 1st and January 31st of 1988, Barbara had written 27 worthless checks and 15 overdraft payments.
Wow.
The prosecutors of this case said that Larry Ford's death could be used, quote, for the purpose of establishing motive as well as a common scheme.
Okay.
On April 18th, 1988, a grand jury indicted Barbara Stager on first-degree murder charges. She was held in Durham County Jail under a $250,000 bond and was facing the death penalty. John Biddle was a driver's education teacher at the same high school that Russ worked at and considered Russ a good friend. Biddle said, quote, he was the type of guy who would go out of his way to give you a helping hand if he had a chance. I guess I've known him for 10 or 15 years, and anytime I had something I needed help doing around my home, he was always willing to lend a hand. He did some tree trimming for me one time. We both taught driver's ed together. He was very dependable, very loyal.
Oh.
Biddle described Barbara as, quote, very friendly and that the two seemed like a very happy couple. Barbara had told her husband and friends that she was working on a book about her first husband's death.
Why?
She called the book Untimely Death.
Oh my God.
And told friends Doubleday had agreed to publish it. I'm assuming it's a publishing firm.
Yeah.
But a search warrant filed by the Durham Sheriff's Department said that the publisher rejected the manuscript. It stated, quote, Barbara Stager copied the company logo on a blank sheet of paper and wrote the acceptance letter herself.
Oh my God.
Confidential and reliable informants have disclosed that this letter was used in an attempt to obtain a bank loan.
Okay, because for a second I was like, well, that's not really how it works. They're not going to publish your book just because you now have a letter.
Right.
But that makes sense for the bank loan. Okay.
Barbara had been engaged in a power of borrowing money prior to Russ's death without his knowledge, including forging his name on loan applications as well as on motor vehicle title in order to secure one of the loans. To keep this activity a secret, Barbara had the bills mailed to her parents' house. This pattern of borrowing began in January of 1987 and concluded with a $10,000 loan obtained 9 months later. After Barbara missed payments on a $10,000 bank loan, she began forging checks on her husband's accounts. When she missed the second payment, the bank informed Barbara that Russ would have to be contacted if she did not make a payment.
Mm.
Barbara asked the bank not to call her husband because they were having problems and another female was involved. Close to 80 people testified for the prosecution.
80?
Yeah.
Wow.
For the prosecution in Barbara Stager's trial. Eugene Bishop, this is kind of cool. This is like some of the forensic stuff.
Okay.
Eugene Bishop, a firearms examiner with the State Bureau of Investigation, testified that he tested the Beretta, so the gun that was used.
Okay.
Bishop concluded that the bullet and the bullet fragments taken from the victim's brain were fired from the Beretta pistol. In addition, he testified that the Beretta could be loaded in 2 ways. By placing a live round in the chamber, closing the chamber, manually cocking the external hammer, and pulling the trigger.
Okay.
Or by placing a loaded magazine in the weapon and pulling the slide back.
Okay.
Bishop
That actually made a lot of sense to me. I understood both of those.
Right? Bishop testified that in addition to the thumb safety on the grip, the Beretta had another type of safety which could be engaged by pulling back the hammer, a quote quarter cock.
Okay.
He testified that it was difficult to push the thumb safety up into a full safety position and that it took definite movement to push the safety down or off to allow the pistol to fire.
Okay.
So what that also means is that the gun would have to be safety off, cocked back under his pillow.
Okay.
So like I guess ideally he'd pull it out and could just immediately pull the trigger.
Right.
So that's kind of.
And if he was in the military, there's no way he would be leaving it like that. Okay. Okay. Okay.
No, you guys can't see me, but I'm giving Lauren a hold on finger. Bishop also testified as the ejection pattern of the Beretta. So remember, there was that small shell casing found under the pillow.
Right. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Russ.
Yeah. Yep.
By the way, I'm not sure if this was clear before, but he was laying facing away.
Yeah.
So like his back would have been towards
Her.
her.
And wound was like on gun with a pillow in between.
His
Right.
head was, but the wound was in the back of his head.
Oh, right.
Yeah. What they're going to do is they tested how when you would shoot the weapon, where the shell casing went.
Oh, fun.
So Bishop found that most of the spent shell casings were ejected to the right rear of the shooter, but that at least on one occasion, the spent casing came straight back or back to the left. The spent casings would travel 2 to 6 feet when ejected from the gun. A trigger pull of 4 to 1.5 pounds of pressure was required before the weapon would fire.
So like you have to be intentionally firing.
Yeah, it's not like one of those ones that like can go off.
Like with just a little hair.
Right.
And also, I mean, you mentioned it, and I think people are listening and like, mention this too. How at the beginning you were like, and they determined that the gun had been shot from at least 2 feet or more.
Right.
Yeah.
And she, like, in the reenactment, if you think about it, if she's saying that she's pulling it out from under the pillow,
Right.
she's a few inches from him.
Exactly. Not 2 feet.
And, like, even how she would have had to pull it out, it still wouldn't have been, like, in the back of his head, in the middle of the back of his head.
Right. Wait, okay. That's what, 4 shots for people now?
I don't know. I lost track. I'll let you know when I edit.
They'll let us know if people would be dead, if they would be hospitalized.
Yeah. I might just take it out altogether. Who knows? He also concluded that the Beretta was in proper working condition. Special Agent Michael Creasy, a forensic chemist in the crime laboratory of the State Bureau of Investigation, testified that he examined certain exhibits for gunshot residue in connection with the case. Specifically, he examined the mattress cover, the blanket, the sheets, the pillowcases from the bed in which Russell Stager was killed. He examined those items to determine whether they bore any tears or burning that would be associated with the discharge of a gun.
Makes sense.
He testified that he would have expected to find singe marks or actual damage to the fabric if the gun had discharged within 6 inches of any of the items.
That's a really good point.
And if she's laying in bed and pulling it out,
Right.
Yeah. His examination failed to reveal any such marks or burning that he could identify as being associated with the discharge of a firearm. Friends of the couple testified to being with Barbara and Russ at a shooting range, and they all testified that Barbara did not appear to be scared or uncomfortable firing the pistol.
Uh-huh.
Like we've said, it should also be noted that Russ was on his company's pistol team in the National Guard.
Yeah.
A master sergeant testified that it was his opinion that Russell was orderly, safe, and a cautious individual.
Yup.
Someone else who testified in the trial was Russ's ex-wife, Jo Lynn. The two remained friends after the divorce, and she told the court that Russ was scared of his wife.
Oh.
The real bombshell came from a Durham High School student, Frederick Evans. In December of 1988, he found a cassette tape in the school locker room. Evans brought it home and gave it to his mom, where it remained in a drawer until April
Oh
1989.
my god, my curiosity would have been like, I must play this
You'd
now.
think. Evans listened to the recording of the tape for the first time that April. He identified Russ as the one speaking on the tape, and he was expressing serious concerns about Barbara's behavior.
Oh.
Evans and his mother turned the tape over to the police on April 18th, 1989. The tape was played in court, where multiple people testified that it was Russ talking on the tape. Do you want to hear what he said on
Yes.
part of it?
Of course I do.
Well, I wanted to make sure that you wanted to hear it because I was like, I'm not going to copy and paste this in here if people don't want to hear it.
Do you really think I would say, "Nah, I'm okay"?
I don't know.
No. We want all the details, Mackenzie.
I know. Okay, here we go. Found it.
Okay.
It's like longer, but I'm only going to read this first part because it's enough.
Yeah.
So this is what he said. The last few nights during sleep, Barbara has woke me up to give me some kind of medication. I have not taken it. Last night, she woke me up and gave me what she said was 2 aspirin, but this was at like 4:30 in the morning. She stood there to see if I took it. I did not take it. I placed it under the bed. She came back to check to make sure I had taken it, saying she wanted something to drink from what I was drinking. This morning, she normally is up and gone by 7. Today at 7, she was still in bed. She said that she was going to work at 8. Before I got up, she was over around there on the side, acts like she's looking for what I supposedly took last night. Now, this was the night of January the 28th, a Thursday night, so she stayed there looking to see if I had taken the stuff this morning. I got it out of there, although she was looking very close to see if I was trying to retrieve it. She made the comment that, quote, "You didn't take those aspirins that I gave you?" I said, "Yeah, I did." Well, I took the 2 capsules to Eckerd's Pharmacy at Forest Hills, and they said that it was sleeping pills.
Yeah.
Now, if I was already asleep at 4:30 in the morning, why would somebody wake me up to give me 2 more sleeping pills?
Mhm. And so he, like, is recording this on, like, a, like
The tape.
yeah,
So
interesting.
he says something about being Barbara's second husband, and then he says, "The first one, I don't know what happened, but according to his parents, there was some foul play going on. He supposedly accidentally shot himself in their bedroom with a pistol. Now, I have no idea what really went on, what really happened. She was there when it happened, and so were the boys. My question is, did her husband, Larry Ford, accidentally shoot himself? Tape, break and tape music." And then it says, "I'm just being paranoid about all this stuff. Sometimes I
Aw.
wonder," and then break and tape music. Back to Wednesday night, January the 27th. Barbara had given me something that was supposedly for sinuses and some aspirin that was supposedly was neoprene. And about 5 that morning, I woke up and I was feeling terrible. I was hurting real bad around my eyes and my temples, and I really wonder if what she gave me was sinus medication and neoprene. I also had a real bad case of cotton mouth. Even after all this, when she woke up and saw that I was in pain, she actually tried to give me some more stuff, which I wouldn't take. What I really, really hope that I'm being paranoid about all this stuff that's going on, but I really wonder. This is Russ Stager. This is January 29th, 1988, 10 minutes of 2.
Oh,
And then he just talks about other things that have happened.
yeah.
So he talks about like the bills seem to have been disappearing, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of like the kicker
Yeah.
because he was like, I'm scared of her. I think
That's
she's
so
trying to do
sad.
something. And like, I think initially when people had heard about what happened to her first husband, no one really thought about it.
Well, yeah.
But then like, as things started to get weird and he started to get nervous, they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Needless to say, Barbara was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. In 1993, due to a technicality, her sentence was commuted to life in prison with the possibility of parole. So far, her parole has been denied repeatedly.
Wow.
Barbara's youngest son, Jason, went to live with an aunt and an uncle, and her oldest son, Brian, was old enough to be on his own. In conclusion, I like what Rebecca Reisner said in her blog post about the Forensic Files episode this case was featured in. Quote, "Barbara Stager demonstrated a reoccurring forensic file theme. People who get away with murder once just can't stop pushing their luck."
Yup.
And that is the case of Barbara Stager.
And doing it the same way, too.
And like, The first way, I also read somewhere too, I can't remember where it was, that for her first husband, the reason that it ended up being ruled accidental, even though it was pretty obvious it wasn't,
Yeah.
she was maybe dating someone on the police force or, like, having an affair with someone,
Oh.
and I only saw that in one place, so I don't know how legitimate that is, and so that's
Preferential
how.
treatment.
Yeah, and then I think the first one was a lot. It's more believable,
Yeah.
but with.
As it being an accident?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they did test the gun, and if they dropped it on hardwood floor from, like, a certain height, it did fire,
Oh.
but he was in carpet,
Right.
so it wasn't the same thing. And, like, Larry's parents have been saying this whole time,
Right.
"This is
There's more.
there's more to this, like, you need to look into it, blah, 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 blah."
But of course, no one's
Yeah,
going to.
and so, she didn't get charged with Larry's, but it was used in the case of murder.
Which is very interesting
Yeah.
because usually they don't like to do that.
Well, and that's part of um, the case notes thing that I
Yeah.
used for a lot of the information, like where the recording is and all that kinda good stuff. It's an appeal, and part of the
Oh.
appeal is them not being able to use that. But I
Oh.
forget exactly what it was that it was like, "No, they can use this because blah, 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 blah."
I think you should always be able to use someone's past.
Yeah, and I
Always.
can't remember. It explained it well in the documents. I don't know specifically, like, what it said because those parts I kinda skip over because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for what happened.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so the plot twist, she also murdered her first husband. Second plot twist, there's a tape,
Yeah, that's wild.
right?
I just don't know how someone, if I found a tape, oh, I'm playing that immediately.
And I wonder, like, because I think the trial began in 1989, and so I wonder if that's what made the kid think of it.
Oh, maybe.
Of like, "Wait a minute, I found this tape. It was after, Coach Russell," or whatever they called him, had died. Maybe there's something on it."
Maybe. Wow.
Right.
Well, nicely told.
Thank you. This was tricky how I was gonna do it.
Well, you did a great job.
I wanted to make sure that I was scared when I said, he adopted her kids from a previous marriage because I was really afraid you were gonna ask me what happened.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't. I think it's just so common nowadays
Yeah.
that that wasn't even the thing where I was like, "Oh, what happened?"
Well, see, yeah, but that's what I was worried because I was like, if she asks what happened, that's gonna ruin it.
Right.
Like,
Oh, he died.
he died. How? Shut up.
Let me get through my story, please.
Right. So I'm glad you didn't ask because then it helped with the plot twist. Even though I completely fumbled that sentence so badly. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice story.
Yeah.
Not nice
Crazy.
story, but nicely told story.
Yeah. Like plot twist.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, she seems like such a nice lady,
Oh,
so
of
wholesome,
course.
church going, blah, 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 blah.
Pillar of the community.
In fact, when she was in jail and for her bail, her church was trying to raise money for it. Because it was a good chunk of time before people were like, oh yeah, she definitely did this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And in one of her appeals, like the one that got her, she was still found guilty or whatever, but it was changed to life in prison. Her son was testifying. And with the story he told about the order of events of when it reminded me of Legally Blonde
Oh, yeah.
when she's talking about being in the shower versus when she heard the gunshots.
Yeah.
And he said his alarm went off. He got into the shower, had heard it. And when he came out, that's when his mom was like, you need to call 911.
Oh.
But if we go by her story and she was taking it out when
The alarm was going off.
then he should have heard it before he got in the shower.
Oh, people are just so clever.
Right?
When they can figure out those things.
Like Harvard law. Like it's
it's
difficult.
Well,
So,
nicely done. Nicely
you.
done.
Thank you. Thank you. What's spooky to you, porn, Lauren?
I am talking about the Biltmore Estate in North Carolina.
Why does this sound familiar?
There is a Biltmore in Providence, Rhode Island, which is haunted.
Did we do it?
No. Maybe. Unsure. But this one is the Biltmore in North Carolina.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
So-
need things to come up with more unique names. I can't do this double shit.
I know.
It's driving me nuts.
The Biltmore estate sits on 8,000 acres of land in Asheville, North Carolina.
Sounds gorgeous.
Oh my God, it is. The house itself.
Oh, look, that's so funny.
What?
You did a female killer,
Oh,
and I did a haunted hotel.
oh my
Then
goodness.
this week, I did a
Female killer.
thank you, and you're doing a haunted hotel.
I know.
Wow, unplanned.
Oh, so good.
Just
Look at
so
us.
insane.
In sync. So the house itself was constructed in 1889 and was finished in 1895, where it served as a private residence of George Washington Vanderbilt.
Hmm.
And yes, those Vanderbilts.
I loved how you paused for dramatic effect, being like, I bet you think it's George Washington, the president. Psych, Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's mother had lived in the area, so for years before the house was built, Vanderbilt was visiting, and each time he fell more and more in love with the city and the scenery.
And was this the Vanderbilt?
Yes.
Okay.
Like those Vanderbilts.
Well, no, I know those Vanderbilts, but like, you have the Rockefellers, you have,
Good question. I don't know.
so like, you have the J.D. Rockefeller. That's like the Rockefeller. So was he the Vanderbilt, if that makes sense?
Who was the Vanderbilt? Cornelius Vanderbilt.
Who was that to him?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't go over his family history that much, so I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I go from him down, but I don't go from him up.
Okay.
So yes. So this is where he decided that he wanted to build his summer home, his summer getaway house.
Oh
Vanderbilt,
my God. That's what mine started as.
I know, when people could do that back then,
Yeah, that's
can't
true.
do that now.
No.
Vanderbilt got the idea for the name Biltmore, not from his last name, the Bilt part, but rather from a combination of de Bilt, a region in the Netherlands where his family originated from, and more, from Anglo-Saxon that roughly translated to rolling land. And what's fun, on the land that he purchased to make his estate, there were some farms and even some cemeteries.
And then he just took them?
I guess, I don't know what he did with them. It didn't really talk about it, just mentioned it briefly, and that was it. But so our man had money.
Well, yeah, he's a Vanderbilt.
Yep. When construction began in 1889, both a woodworking factory and a brick kiln were added to the site so that construction could continue on at a steady pace. The kiln could even produce up to 32,000 bricks per day. A private
Jesus.
railroad was connected to the estate so that items and other goods needed could make their way easily and quickly to the estate.
See, I would want to be rich back then.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't want to be rich now. I'm going to be rich back then.
Yeah, the things you
The
could do.
things you could fucking do.
And over 1,000 laborers worked on it. Vanderbilt traveled extensively, mainly across Europe, to find decor for the interior of the house. Finally, in 1890, to find decor for the interior of the house.
What's that?
Decor.
Oh, decor. I didn't hear the duh part. I just heard core, and I was like, what's a core?
Maybe my stuffy nose.
Yeah.
The decor.
Got it. Okay.
Finally, in 1895, the 250-room estate was finished with its 178,926 square feet of floor space.
How many rooms?
250.
So, do you know 250 people?
No!
Right.
I didn't even have that many at my wedding.
Exactly.
And that's our families combined.
And that's like his house.
I know. So the inside of the house is equivalent to 4 acres, just inside of the main house alone. Like, that's not even just the property, just the house itself.
How many acres are in a mile? Just go with me.
I don't know.
We'll look it up.
How many acres in a mile?
Yeah.
Do you want to see how long it would take to get from one end to the other?
Yeah.
I don't know if those are the same kind of like measurements. So 640 acres is 1 square mile.
Well, that doesn't help.
See, I know.
I don't want the area. I want just... Okay.
I don't think it would be a full mile, but you could get your 10,000 steps easily.
100%.
Yeah.
You'd be out of breath walking quickly from one side to the other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You could do sprints.
Yeah. You would have to send like carrier pigeon to get notes to somebody. Like, it might be days before you see them again.
Right. You don't even know who's in your home.
100%.
It was built in a French Renaissance chateau style. It had 35 bedrooms, 43 bathrooms, and 65 fireplaces. That's just the rooms, bathrooms.
Wait. Say that again?
It had 35 bedrooms,
Okay.
43 bathrooms.
So 8 of those were not attached to a bedroom?
I guess so.
Probably.
Maybe like half baths.
Yeah.
And 60
Everywhere, apparently.
And
It stops along the
you
way.
have to go so far. You need to go on your bathroom break. And 65 fireplaces.
I mean, it's got to have electricity.
It also had electricity.
Did it have indoor plumbing?
Indoor plumbing.
Wow.
A gymnasium, call bell system, centralized clock system, and an indoor swimming pool.
Oh my god, can you imagine working in there, like, as, like, a servant or something, and you hear the bell, and you know that they're all the way on the other side?
Be like, all right, I'll see you for the dinner rush.
Yeah, right?
To celebrate the new house, Vanderbilt threw a housewarming party on Christmas Eve for distinguished guests. Some of these guests included ambassadors, authors, and U.S. presidents.
Hmm.
On the property, Vanderbilt also constructed the Shiloh Forestry Compound, or the Biltmore Forestry School, in 1898. Carl Scheneck was hired as the forester of the estate due to his knowledge on the topic.
What's a forester?
I will get to it.
Okay.
Scheneck opened up the forestry school and began offering a one-year course where those interested in forestry could learn practical forestry techniques. So forestry is the science, art, and practice of managing forests, including the care and planting of trees to ensure their long-term health and productivity.
Like that.
I know!
That's good.
One of the buildings...
Especially if you knocked down all those fucking trees to build this goddamn house.
Right. Right. You got to keep the ones that are still on the property.
Right.
One of the buildings, though, was known to be a meeting place for illicit activities. But after dispute over payment between Scheneck and Vanderbilt, Scheneck left and the school was closed.
Mm.
Today, the building still stands empty and abandoned. The
But
estate
on the property.
on the property, yep.
I'm surprised I didn't turn it into anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like hire someone else to do it.
Yeah.
The estate as a whole was open to the public, but when the U.S. entered World War II, it was closed to the public. And fearing a potential attack against Axis powers, Vanderbilt relocated many of the estate's artifacts to a protected area so that they wouldn't be destroyed in an attack if an attack did come. So one of those artifacts, for example, was the famous George Washington portrait painted by Gilbert Stuart. The picture is the one that shows George with his hand out, standing. Like kind
The
of
one
like
that's
this.
in the National Portrait Gallery?
Potentially?
Okay.
If I showed you, you'd be like, oh, yes, that one.
Okay.
But yeah, it's where it's like his whole body and he's kind of standing like that.
Yeah.
Because I looked it up and I was like, oh, yes,
That one.
that one. While living in this house, George met and married socialite Edith Stuyvesant Dresser in 1898.
Okay.
And the two had a daughter, Cornelia, in 1900.
Cornelia. Probably named after Cornelius.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
George ended up living here until his death from appendicitis in 1914 at the age of 51.
Dang. That is not a lot of time.
No. Edith and Cornelia continued to live in the estate, but their fortune began to dwindle, and Edith had to sell 87,000 acres of the estate to the federal government. In 1925, Edith remarried to a U.S. Senator from Rhode Island named Peter Goelet Gary. This was after she inherited $50 million from George.
Damn.
They ended up being married for 32 years.
Oh, good for her.
So she was married to this other guy for way longer than she was married to George.
How much? You said 50 million?
Yeah.
And what was that, 1914?
Yeah.
How much would that be? So today that would be 1,612,805,000.
So a nice little sum of money.
So if she had been around now, she would be a billionaire.
Good for her.
Yeah.
In 1930, with the Great Depression in full swing, Cornelia, the daughter, and her husband, so she got married.
Yeah.
The daughter, and her husband, British aristocrat John Francis Amherst Cecil, opened
Oh,
the
my
estate to the
Lord.
public for tours. The Biltmore estate remained in the Vanderbilt family and was continually maintained by members of the family, to include the sons of Cornelia Vanderbilt. Her son, John Cecil, and George lived in the house until 1956, when John passed. Cornelia's youngest then moved in. So fun fact about Cornelia. After only living in the Biltmore for about 4 years, she moved to New York. Then in 1934, she moved to Paris, divorced Cecil, dyed her hair pink, and changed her name to Nilcha. She spent the rest of her days around Europe. She got married a few more times. Her last marriage was to a waiter who was 30 years younger than her.
So
Good.
not like her mom.
Good for her. Not like her mom at all.
Not like her mom at all.
The Biltmore estate became a National Historical Landmark in 1963. 1966 is when the National Register of Historic Places became a thing. And today hosts more than 1 million visitors a year. The estate also now has 2 hotels, a winery, and multiple cottages that can be rented.
That's kind of cool.
So with so many visitors coming to the estate and with so many staff, it's not surprising that there have been many different reports of hauntings that have taken place at the estate.
For sure.
One of the most common things, noticed by both visitors and staff, is hearing a voice whispering the name George repeatedly in the hallways.
No.
No. Many people believe that it is the spirit of Edith Vanderbilt who wanders the halls looking for her husband, who also seems to be at the estate. George can usually be found in his study, surrounded by all of his books. He has been seen just admiring and browsing the books along the shelves. He is also seen sitting quietly reading his books. In addition, he has been spotted in the billiard room and the oak sitting room. Sometimes Edith is seen sitting there with him, both of them engaged in conversation.
That's wild.
I know. He's playing his Sims game.
Huh?
Joe.
Yeah.
He's playing his Sims game. I call the game when they play, like, when they make their, like, football players to play their sports games, I call it The Sims. Because he chooses, like, the hair and the clothes and the, like,
Sure.
gloves. Yeah. Man Sims. So a woman in pink is also seen wandering the halls. This is allegedly the mistress of George, who died in 1898 at a hospital not far from the estate.
I was going to say, oh, it's Cornelia.
Nope.
Because it's pink.
Those who have walked the grounds at night have reported hearing what sounds like a big party full of laughter, glasses clinking, and general party-like chatter, when obviously no one is throwing a party.
Right.
There are also sounds of parties coming from vacant rooms in the estate, also with the sound of glasses clinking.
Can you imagine staying there and calling down for a noise complaint only to be told that there's no one next door?
Yep.
I would be leaving immediately.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Orchestra music is heard playing and animated conversations in those vacant rooms. The stairs actually
At
seem to
least
be...
they're polite enough to go in a vacant room.
Yeah, not your room.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would suck.
That would suck.
The stairs seem to be a hotspot for activity. Spirits have been seen walking up and down the stairs, and sounds of footsteps are heard on many different occasions. But people have also felt an eerie feeling when going up and down the stairs. Some paranormal enthusiasts believe that the staircase are spiritual vortexes.
Okay.
There are reports of strange smells, to include cigar smoke, though it's a smoke-free environment, unexplained cold spots, and the feeling of being pushed, watched, and followed.
Is this house 2 floors?
It's like, it's
3?
multiple floors.
Okay.
One of the pictures I included shows the staircase.
Okay.
The ghost of a headless orange cat is seen roaming around the garden and the bass pond. And in the garden is the ghost of a young boy. He has been seen playing, and some people claim they can hear his laughter.
Is he the one who chopped off the head of the cat?
People have no idea where this cat came from. They're like, we don't know who owned the cat, why the cat's here, but we see a headless cat. Some believe that this boy may have been a victim of a tragic accident on the estate, but no one knows for sure, as there is no documents about it.
Sure.
The basement is,
Hush,
of
hush.
course, another haunted location, because duh.
Who's going in the basement in a hotel?
I don't know.
Like, you'd have to
I
get
don't
special
know.
permission for that.
Yeah,
Because it's not your fucking house.
right. Like, I'm just going to go down the basement real quick.
Right.
Located in the basement are the servants' quarters, the kitchen, gym, and pool. Those who have ventured down here have reported seeing the staff, who no longer work down there, busy preparing a meal in the kitchen.
I wonder if it smells like food.
Ooh, I don't know.
Because, like, you can smell the cigar, the perfume, but, like, if you see people cooking, if you can smell the food.
That's interesting. No one brought that up, but maybe. In the basement, there is also a room called the Halloween Room. It has a series of beautifully creepy murals that include characters from folklore, soldiers, and other imagery.
You would love that.
I would, but I looked at the pictures and I don't like them very much. Apparently, the paintings were created in December of 1925 to prepare the room for a New Year's Eve celebration, and after 3 weeks of painting, John and Cornelia Cecil hosted a bohemian ball on December 30th, 1925, as a part of that New Year's Eve celebration.
That sounds fun.
I know. Down here, people have reported seeing a woman in a flapper dress, believed to be reliving one of the many Halloween parties that took place there over a century ago.
Halloween or New Year's?
Halloween and New Year's. It was the Halloween room. They had a big party on New Year's, like, for the room, and then they had Halloween parties down there after.
Oh, okay.
The pool is no longer used, but visitors have reported an overwhelming feeling of unease while touring it. Others say that they have felt pure terror, but not that they were scared, but that a spirit is giving off, like, these scared vibes.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it is the site of a drowning that took place during one of the Vanderbilt parties. The pool held 70,000 gallons of water.
Damn.
It also had a heating system and underwater lights, but it didn't have a filtration system. So
Ooh.
every few days, it would have to be drained and refilled.
That's such a waste.
Think of how much
That's
water you're going
so much
through.
fucking water.
I
That's
know.
insane.
I know. But when you have Vanderbilt money, I guess that doesn't matter.
I mean, don't be careless.
Right.
How are you going to have a forestry school and waste all that fucking water? Make it make sense.
So the rumor goes that this is how the young boy drowned, when they were emptying it and refilling it and stuff. We don't have more information than that.
What, was he in the pool when they were emptying it?
Don't know.
Or in the pool when they were filling it?
Unsure.
Okay.
Yep. But there are no documented reports of what happened, so that's all we can go off of.
All right. I'm assuming any of these undocumented reports are because it was a scandal. So I bet he was in the pool playing. It's empty. That's fun. And someone filled it and didn't know he was in there. And then he drowned. And the Vanderbilts have to avoid a scandal.
Right. Of course. It would ruin their reputation.
Exactly.
Someone who visited and toured the pool said that they had an overwhelming urge to start crying while in the area.
I thought you were gonna say overwhelming urge to jump in.
Yeah, jump into the empty
Yeah,
pool.
right?
But once they left the pool area, they felt fine again. Splashing is also sometimes heard, and laughter can be heard coming from the drain.
The drain?
Uh-huh.
What, are you putting your ear up to the fucking drain?
I think it's like as they're walking, they can hear laughter, and
Oh,
you can pinpoint the noise from the drain. Hate that. A woman in black is usually seen around the pool as
not
well.
white?
No, we
Wow.
don't have a woman in white here.
Changing it up.
We have black and pink. I know. She could also be responsible for the overwhelming distress that people feel. So, going along with feelings, another person visited with their significant other. She said that as they were touring, so they do offer tours.
Mhm.
Her boyfriend started to get extremely agitated, which wasn't his character. He started mumbling things about the house, making rude comments to the girl who posted, so his girlfriend. When they got home, he had no recollection of his behavior or anything that he had said and said that he would love to go back. They
Likely fucking story. You were being a dick and you saw a way out. That was bullshit.
They'd also taken a picture while there because apparently photos aren't allowed to be taken, but they didn't know that. And in the bed, you can see
I bet they did. These sound like people that just don't listen.
in the bed, you can see an indentation as if someone were sitting on it. And this part isn't haunting, it's just creepy. So there's a number of headless mannequins stored in one of the rooms in the house. They are dressed in, and I know you love this term, period clothing, all dating back to the early 20th century. I know. I included a picture, don't you worry. So
Why? Well, okay, I guess I kind of get why.
why did I include a picture? Why do they have headless mannequins?
The sex one.
Headless mannequins? Oh,
I figure they're displaying
yeah, clothes.
like when we went to the Kennedy Center in a
Box.
display thingy, they showed like clothing from that time.
Oh,
and
nice.
I don't think they had heads.
Yeah.
So, but so many together?
Yeah.
That's unsettling.
So the old forestry compound is also said to be very haunted and sits on the Biltmore property. Apparently, this is the site of where a sex worker was murdered by a client.
Yeah, because didn't you say nefarious things happen there?
Yep.
Again,
Executions
cover up.
executions took place inside of the old building as well.
Executions?
Uh-huh. Those who were hanged, including a woman, are often seen in the halls of the old building. They are never sighted beyond this part of the property.
You didn't say that happened in there.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that wild?
Who are they killing?
I don't know. And why do they have to on their property? Yeah, I don't know. Visitors to this area have noticed lights operating on their own in vacant windows and temperatures drop drastically despite warm weather outside. The area has a gate surrounding it known as the Shiloh Gate. So in 1922, Walter Brooks was working as a security guard when he had a run-in with 5 boys at the gate who were there with not good intentions. Apparently, Brooks had beef with one of the guys because the guy claimed that Brooks had hurt his dog.
Rude.
After some exchange, Brooks ended up fatally wounding 2 of the group, Lawrence West and Emery Lance. Another one in the group was seriously injured, but he escaped. It is believed that West and Lance's ghosts may still haunt the area.
Damn, one guy beat the shit out of 5?
Pretty much.
Damn.
Well, killed 2 of them. Shot them.
Beat the shit out of? Oh, he shot them.
Well, actually, I don't know. It just says fatally wounded, too. So I don't know how.
Okay.
I don't know why I just assumed shooting, but who knows?
I mean, that would make more sense if you're going to take out 5 people.
Right. So what happened to Brooks? After a 3-hour deliberation, he was found guilty of second-degree murder and received a 30-year sentence of hard labor.
On the Vanderbilt property?
I don't know. Who's to say?
I wonder if he had been given the death penalty if they would have killed him on the property.
In the execution room.
Yeah.
The Biltmore offers many unique experiences like bed and breakfast, an enchanted Christmas event, New Year's Eve celebrations, a Tutankhamun exhibit, and much more.
A what?
Tutankhamun, like King Tut?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's random.
Rooms range anywhere from $450 a night to over $1,000, depending on why you're there and for what event. Like the New Year's Eve event is over $1,000 a night. And honestly, for a special occasion, I would like to come and stay here, or maybe just come for a fun event that they are hosting. Because I said to Joe, I was like, you know a place I would like to go? And he was like, where? And I said, the Biltmore Estate. He goes, is it haunted? I said, yes, it is.
You know, I feel like they just have those prices because Vanderbilt is associated with it.
Oh, 100%. And if you look at it, it is beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
And they have ads on TV all the time to come to the Biltmore Estate.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I've seen them, yeah.
Maybe that's why it sounds so familiar.
Maybe.
Well, goddamn.
Yeah. Biltmore. But I would go here. It's so pretty.
Yeah. Stuff like that is gorgeous.
Yeah. It's like a place where I would really want to go for like a special occasion, like an anniversary or something like
and
that.
Asheville's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, especially going in the fall or something.
Oh my gosh,
that
I
would
can't
be
even imagine
a
because
nice
it's
little
like
getaway.
in the woods.
Yeah.
So, or like, I guess, whatever you want to call it, but there's just trees all around it.
Yeah.
It's such a pretty property.
Yeah. That sounds nice. Well, again, add it to the list of places I won't go.
Places I will go and explore first.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't
Places that
seem
I
to
won't
have.
go, but like you might be able to convince me because they're really pretty.
You can go for like an event.
Yeah.
Like we go for a fun event, then we stay at like a nice, not haunted hotel in Asheville.
What if it follows us
It won't. You just have to ask, like, you just have to say, please don't follow me.
and it listens?
Yeah, actually, if you make
Even
it
if
very.
it's a bad ghost?
If you make it very clear that the spirits can't follow you home, they won't. Most of the time.
I'm just going to hold a sign.
Don't follow me, don't follow me. Make it a ye old sign so they can understand it too.
What?
I don't know what language they spoke in the 1950s, like how English their English was. You know what I mean?
It was pretty English.
Well, yeah. Like pretty like ye old English or pretty our English?
In the 1950s?
No, when this happened in the 1890s.
Oh,
Obviously the 1950s. No, in the 1890s.
it was probably understandable.
Okay. Then I could handle that.
Yeah. I think "don't follow me" would have been
Pretty
clear. You might
clear.
have had to say "do not." I don't know if they had contractions back then.
Ah, yeah. Be on the safe side. Do not follow me.
Yes. Yeah.
But yes, this is a place I would go. And that is North Carolina,
That
where
is
I will
North
be
Carolina.
when this episode comes out. I tried to look to see the distance between here and where I
How
was
far is
staying.
it?
It's like 3 hours,
Yeah.
3 or 4 hours.
Because you're on the coast and it's in Asheville.
It's in, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way, because Mom would have totally, if I was like,
Oh,
hey,
100%.
you want to drive by this haunted house? Absolutely. Way too far out of the way for a little road trip fun.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But one day.
One day.
But yeah, so rate and review us.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
And stay scary.
Stay safe.